So, another day, another Insomniac video blog. But this time I decided to do a hair treatment. I get these hair oils from the halal market. I am really blessed to live in Houston. We have amazing, amazing cultural diversity, which I really love. I'm gonna get this done. But so that's really cool. And it's funny because yesterday one of the ladies at work said, "Oh, I really like your color. How did you do it?" She's Arabic and very, very devout Muslim. And the interesting thing about henna is where I get it, they just sell it to you as this ground up powder in a mylar bag, and then it's up to the user to determine how to apply it. So for me, I make a paste with black tea. I use about 5-6 tea bags for like a cup and a half. Well, about 2 cups of tea. Use about 6 tea bags, and I brew it really strong, and I'll let it cool down. Squeeze out the tea bag. Throw the tea bags away. Then I've got about a cup and a half of tea. And then I add about a half cup of apple cider vinegar to that, and a box of henna, a couple of tablespoons of amla. Good to go. And the lady was saying, "Oh, you should add some strong black coffee to it too." And she's like, "Yes, coffee, very important. Strong coffee." Okay, I'm gonna try that next time. Now, I would like to maybe do another treatment this week, just to kind of finish it and fill in a few blanks. So I might do that tomorrow night. That would probably be a good idea. And I have my stuff that I can bring. Oh, I think I'm just gonna make a half batch because I just want to mainly do like the front here, and then like in the back a little, because the way I'm doing it, I noticed there's a little bit of root situation, so focus more on the back roots, I think. So we'll see. But Insomniac video blog. I slept okay for about 5 hours. Got up, decided to do my hair. My hands are really dry too. And the nice thing about doing a castor oil on my hair, I did a couple of different oils and a little bit of shea butter on the ends. Is they're good for my hands too. And then while I was at it, I put a little shea butter, straight raw shea butter on my feet, on the rough spots basically, and rub that in. Put a little Dollar Tree lotion, put some socks on, and then when I get up, hopefully it'll be a little softer. I'm not really worried about having pretty feet, but I want to have happy feet. So I am not used to taking care of myself. The kind of life I've had, I was there to make somebody else happy. And, it's only lately that I've realized just how terrible my marriage was, because his most common endearment for me was worthless piece of shit or stupid bitch. That's basically, and very, very seldom he would just go off on me, sometimes in public, although he'd like to project this image. And a lot of people who knew him in person thought he was just a great guy, because that's what he wanted them to think. But when that door shut, different. There were a few people who knew what he was really like, and they just didn't care because he was giving them money, or they didn't want to get involved, or something like that. So, but he had a friend at work who used to give us rides somewhere and stuff like that, and Ron gave him a lot of money over the years, and the minute the money dried up, this guy disappeared. And at one point, he was bringing Ron alcohol. And he made a big point of taking me aside and saying, if Ron has a problem, let me know. And I'll stop. And Ron had a problem, of course. And I called this guy one night, and Ron was shouting in the background and obviously being very combative. And I said that there's a problem. Can you please stop? And the next morning, Ron called him, and he brought over the alcohol. And I just looked at him, and he just basically said, the money's more important than your happiness. So there was one time we had just gone back to work, I believe, after the accident. And we had a delivery, and I had forgotten the checkbook. And I had to walk back home and get it and come back to the facility. And it might have been before the accident. And I was gone about half an hour. And when I got back, the delivery man was very, very nice to me. It's okay, don't worry about it. Could have happened to anybody. Just very, very sweet man. And Ron was fuming, but he wouldn't say anything. And after the man left, Ron said, I'm going to get that guy fired. And I said, why? What did he do? He said, after I left, I was telling him what a stupid you were and this and that and the other. It was after the accident. And I didn't really say anything. And Ron's like, and you know what he told me? And I said, no. He said, that's your wife. You need to respect her. You don't talk about your wife like that. He said, how dare he? And he made a phone call, and I never saw the guy again. I hope he didn't get fired. It didn't stick, but I remember he used to just go off on me sometimes in front of the postal workers at work, and they would just keep eating, nobody cared. I would come in black and blue, and they would just look at me and shake their heads and cluck their tongue. And Ron would say, you have to cover up the bruises, you're going to make me look bad. And what? Now this one was a Bible handout. That was the Bible handout. I'm pretty sure that's when the buggy got stuck, and I went to pull it loose, and when it finally came loose, there was some momentum, and it smacked into me. But that's definitely Bible handout related. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but that's a very heavy buggy. Something's going on with the cat over here. Here. I hope it's a cat. You know what? I don't know. There's something going on over there. But, so, just coming from that, I'm not really used to people really caring about me or wanting to take care of me, sincerely wanting to take care of me. Because Ron was like, oh, well, you're broken, you're this, you're that. I have to fix you. That was his thing. He was going to fix me for a very long time. And that he was going to mold me into the type of person I needed to be. And, there's an old hymn, just as I am. Just as I am, without one plea. Jesus died for me just the way I am. Knowing everything about me, past, present, future. But he still loves me. He still died for me. His other big thing was, I'm going to embarrass him. And the interesting thing is when I started doing the Bible handouts, I did it because God sent me. I didn't do it for any other reason. And I didn't even really know how bad this neighborhood was supposed to be. But when I started going, people were seriously impressed that I was going to these bad places. I don't care about that. I just see recipients. I see people who are hurting. And if anything, the fact that it's a violent neighborhood to me ups the ante that I need to be going even more, because these guys could die at any minute. And I've had 2 drug dealers come to me and ask me for a Bible. So, I have to keep going. So, but when our Metro Lift drivers found out, they were impressed. And Ron did not expect that. And then he kind of wanted to do the coattail thing. Yeah, we go a lot. We do this, we do that. But God can use a bad motive to get the job done. So, I don't think it's likely I'm ever going to find somebody who's going to go with me on a handout. But that's okay. God is with me every time I go. I've literally got angel armies with me. And I cannot tell you how many times I have been on a packed city bus and the seat next to me is open because I asked God to make my protection visible. And how many times a guy or a woman who looks like a bad actor has gotten on that bus, started coming towards me, immediately stopped. I just moved on. They don't want to be anywhere near me. God is showing them something. I don't know what. And I'm grateful for that. And one day it's just going to completely blow my mind how much he's protected me. I'm certain of that. But yeah, he is good. And if he has a job for me to do, he's going to make sure I can keep doing it. And that was the thing that was just so hard for me last year when I hurt my arm, is that I couldn't do the street corner handouts for months. And oof, benched. That was awful for me. And but God used it for good. Which brings me to another thing that I am required by the Bible to bless those who curse me, to do good to those who treat me badly. And this is going to sound funny, but I actually take a lot of pleasure in doing that because I know I'm doing God's will, and I know it makes the devil scream. A while back at work, we have a very challenging manager, and she confronted an associate right in front of me and was very harsh with her. And later on, the associate was trying to dump work on me. It was a woman, an older woman, older than me, about 20 years, I think. And I put it back, basically, and she got upset at me and said I had to do the work. I said, no, I don't. I never said I could do this work tonight. I have my own work to do. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. And she got very hostile and came after me physically after. I'm screaming at me and physically came after me and was punching me in my bad arm. Now, happily, this woman is 20 years older than me. But, punching me in my bad arm is not okay ever. And if they pulled her off me and separated us and acted like we were fighting. I wasn't fighting. She was attacking me. There's a very big difference. I was moving away. When she started cursing at me, I started walking away, and that's when she came after me and started hitting me. And this was permitted by management. And there were witnesses. There were 2 team leads who witnessed this and about 5 other associates. And the camera was on because there's a camera in that area. I know for sure there's at least 1 camera. And so, that's on them. That's on all of them. But when over the last couple several months, she has needed help on various occasions. And I've given it to her because God wants me to bless the people who are hurting at me. And sometimes when I help her, she just goes, listen to me, and then I've got that cross around my neck. So hopefully that is a good witness. Somebody else recently asked me for prayer. Somebody who stuck a knife in my back last year. And I was already praying for this person. I'm going to continue praying for this person. Of course, and some extra credit prayers, for their health and healing and accurate diagnosis, all that good stuff. Okay. But that's what he wants me to do, and that is what I'm going to do. And it's not always easy. I've had some very toxic people who are still in my life because God requires me to forgive them, and the commandments require me to respect them. And so I'm going to do that, even though it's not easy. And I don't know what God has planned for my personal life. I don't know what God has planned for however long I'm going to be here. He could come and take us all home soon. He is coming. He's coming back. And he's going to take all the believers out of the world. And good luck. That is one reason I hand out paper Bibles, because once the Bible is printed, it cannot be changed. A digital Bible can be deleted. A digital Bible can be altered. But once the Bible is printed, oh, here it is. I always try to have a Bible in my bed. It makes me sleep better. And once this is printed, you can't change it. So, that's one reason I try to hand them out. And a lot of people are not going to read that Bible right away. And that's okay. You've got it in a safe place, at your place, right now. That's all that matters. And when you're ready, it's there for you. Because I have read so many testimonies of people who were given gospel material, a tract, a scripture booklet, whatever. They put it in a safe place. And then years later, they came back and they read it, and they repented, and they got saved. And that's what matters. And people are hurting right now. People are in despair. They think that God doesn't love them. They think they're completely unlovable, that they might as well die. That's not true. And God loves us so much. I want them to have that. And no matter what happens in my work life, in my personal life, I don't know if you can really call it my home life if it's just me and 2 cats, but whatever happens in my life, period, God has got my back. And whatever happens to me is going to work for good. And I told that to one of my drivers, and I said, even if I get hurt, maybe somebody at the hospital needs the gospel, and that would be worth it to me. When I hurt my arm, I went to a walk-in clinic, basically, Doc in the Box type place, and at least 4 or 5 people got the gospel there. And, it's theirs now, and they can make their own decisions. But maybe they were just at the point in their life where they were willing to take the gospel. So, if that means I had to get hurt, if that means I had to get my ass kicked anyway, shape or form, fine, bring it. If it means somebody gets to experience the love of God, I am up for it. Now, I'm not up for it in my own strength, but God will carry me through it, whatever it is. And there have been a lot of cases, like Joni Eareckson Tada, very good example. She became a quadriplegic in a terrible accident, but so many people got the gospel because of her accident. If she had just been, an everyday lady, that wouldn't happen. So, you have to look at the big picture on this kind of thing. that doesn't mean I'm stupid either. Most days I don't carry my wallet when I leave the house. I don't. I don't think I carry any more than like $20 cash on me when I do a Bible handout, just so I can get some kind of snack after. Generally, I bring my own snacks too. At DeSoto, I'm not going to be welcome at either of those gas stations, so I don't even try. I'm careful, I'm not a. I don't think I'm a flashy person. I dress pretty modestly 98% of the time. I've got the red hair, but that's about it. One interesting thing I thought was that I had a boss who's very stylish, and she said a couple of things to me lately that I thought were interesting. One, she said I needed to, quote, tone up and get a girdle, which, she's not wrong. That was number one. Number two, I needed to wear clothes that fit, because at the time I was wearing stuff that was way too big. I've been working on that. And then yesterday she said, you walk hunched over, leaning forward. You need to, stand up and put your shoulders back when you're moving around. I thought, I did not know I did that. Because I don't want to carry myself like a victim when I'm moving around doing my thing. So I thought I needed to hear that. So I'm going to be trying to take note of that. But, yeah, so those are my 6 a.m. thoughts now. And that is it. I hope you slept better than I did.